Can you tell us anything whatsoever?
I know you don't. Give us. One more
Welcome back to the Two Dudes Talk Music YouTube channel. We are here today with Matt and Jack from Denazen, and it is time for the quick question quarter, spelt with Q's, not K's, because we don't roll like that. But basically the whole purpose here is we are going to have, it's almost like a little survey, a little quiz to get deep into their mental music minds and their mentality and how all that works and how they tick, how they think. So we're going to dive in here. It's going to start with some rapid fire questions, just quick responses. And it does get a little bit deeper as it goes further in, so I hope you are prepared. But we'll start off with a nice and easy one. Gentlemen, what was the first instrument that you learned to play?
Drums for me.
Piano. I'll play piano first.
How many years of piano?
I'd probably say 3. I've retained none of it.
Okay.
I had 5. I had 5, and I could, yeah. No, I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the first album that you purchased?
This will be interesting. Wiggles don't count.
This is like horrendously embarrassing, but I think it was Maroon 5 something or other.
It was. I remember in the car as a kid.
I bought a Maroon 5 CD.
Okay.
I do remember that.
Yep.
I was gonna say, the first album I purchased or I got gifted.
We'll say purchased.
Purchased Get Born by Jet.
Okay.
Ooh, no. I think that's a first.
Yeah, I don't think we've had Jet before.
Love Jet, man. Jet, I love it.
Same.
Yeah.
They're one of those bands that sort of went into obscurity. Their first album was an absolute fucking banger.
I mean, weren't they on the iPod? Weren't they on the iPod commercial?
They were the original iPod commercial.
Yeah. There you go. I prefer their Pokemon Evolution version of them, Airborne. Now this will be this. I'm very curious about this one. Very, very curious about this next one, especially given that y'all came of age during the ongoing global bastard being as it was. What was the first live concert that you attended?
Oh yeah,
the first live show, Deep Purple, when I was like this big. My parents are fucking elite, and they took me to Deep Purple in Adelaide when I was like with my sister who's even younger. It was like Journey and Deep Purple.
Journey.
It was fucking insane, man.
You win.
I was like,
You win. Fucking hell.
Yeah. How does a 22-year-old win Two Dudes Talk Music? I didn't even know like it was a thing, but you won it.
That's it.
The last time they've ever been to Australia, I think.
Wow.
Mad.
That is pretty
a
cool.
long time ago.
I love Journey, especially when it's sung by amateurs.
And he saw Black Sabbath on their final tour.
Yeah, I caught him a couple of times too.
That took me into metal, man. That was it.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Tony Iommi, Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, fuck it, that was it, dude.
So I got really lucky. I saw I can't remember what year it was, but when the Dio lineup toured under the Heaven and Hell name.
Ooh.
So they toured in like the 2010s for a little bit. They did that, and because they released like a new album under the Heaven and Hell name, and they went and did. I managed to catch them on that tour. And then I also caught Black Sabbath proper in whatever, but I was Black Sabbath with Ozzy in 2013, and then on the farewell tour in 2016. So I've seen both. If you had told me at like way back, if you told me that I would have got to see both Dio and Ozzy versions of Sabbath,
crazy.
It's unreal. I still can't believe I got to see that. Like
they play Neon Nights.
Oh, of course they played Neon Nights, man. It was all the Dio era stuff. Like they couldn't play any Aussie era stuff. But that was wild. Amazing. It was so good. And it was crazy because like Dio was the kind of person whose voice just got better as he got older. Just every year it just seemed to get better and better, which is crazy. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
What's an instrument you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet?
Mm-hmm. You go first, Matt.
A bass, I would say, because it's I play a little bit of guitar, like chords and a couple riffs here and there, but every time I've picked up a bass, on my fingers just can't reach, and it's like, especially being a drummer, having that like boomy feeling of just like primal stuff. I always want to play it, but I just can't because it feels like it's too big for me. I don't know,
dude. Look, I got small hands for a guy. Bass, I play bass as my main thing. Like I had the two instruments that are horrible for people with hands on the smaller side, piano and bass. This is like, but honestly, like you just have to find a way that works for your style, for, your thing, like whether you play with a pick or not, whether you just, whether you use a fretting technique. Because I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, you should do like one finger per fret, right? But like if your hands are too small, it's just not going to work. So
you should do what's
I don't want to be offensive here, but if you can play,
but you're going to be.
You can.
Don't you fucking know. Don't.
Yeah, with a pick. I mean, you can play.
No, listen. Of course, a fucking guitarist would say that. Listen, you need to listen to me right fucking now. Everybody gets one, okay? But no, honestly, no. I'm going to speak from my experience here because while I was playing piano, I did learn guitar. Next, I was trying to be a guitarist, and then I transitioned across to playing bass probably about 20 years ago. Maybe a little more, right? And for a long time, I was playing bass like a guitarist. I was playing bass from the mentality of someone who's like, okay, like yeah, that was my mentality about it. It's just like guitar. Then I got a wake up call from someone that I very much respected, and it completely shifted my perspective around the instrument. And of course, a bass player is going to say this, and it's going to sound like such a pretentious thing to say, but there is a completely different mentality to playing bass really well because you're focusing on totally different things.
I would agree.
And I realize
playing bass as a guitarist.
I realize you're probably being a bit facetious in saying what you said, as was my overblown response. But it's it's the kind of thing like, yes, you can hit the notes. Like you know where the notes are, they're in the same places. As long as the tuning is aligned with the same tuning. But there's a lot of stuff that, and this is the kind of thing that, again, I'm not trying to sound patronizing, but it comes with experience and playing with tons of different people over years. You learn that some bass players just nail all of the key stuff, and if they can nail the key stuff, playing fancy shit doesn't matter. The best bass players are like, then they essentially translate. The way I describe it is translating between rhythm and melody, translating between drums and guitar.
Like Geezer Butler, I'd say.
Look, I don't see it. I don't see any guitarists being able to play okay, I'm going to play bass now, and then be able to pick up the bass and play like Flea within like 6 months.
Hey, do you know what I mean? I said pick.
I said with a pick. Yeah. But like the Geezer Butler is a great example. And you listen to a lot of the Sabbath soul, like sections where there's guitar solos. A lot of the time, he's basically doing a bass solo underneath that. So it's in essence, you look at it, and it's almost like dueling solos in some ways through a lot of that stuff.
I would say can play bass, but not play bass well.
Well, that's
you know what I'll say? Most guitarists can get away with playing bass enough to get away with it. But there is a reason why there are such good bass players.
There's a nuance to it.
I will admit, I will apologize. That was a bit of a trauma response. It just, people say that, and it just spills out of my mouth. Okay, like I just abused bass player syndrome. I apologize. I'm still recovering. Okay, if you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, now before you answer, there's essentially no rules on this. Okay, this is living or dead, active or not. Whatever stage in their career that you would pick, if you could pick one big band to open a show for, who would it be?
You go first.
Death. I'd open for Death, 100%. I mean, Chuck Schuldiner. My God, at least, you know, Tony Iommi first, and then came Chuck Schuldiner. You know, like, holy shit, you know. Well, first there was Dave Mustaine in the middle with this Megadeth sort of thing, and, you know, you got, you know, Marty Friedman, whatever, but then came Chuck Schuldiner, like an angel from above, you know, and then that was it. Death, 100%.
So, I mean, the best part about Dave Mustaine is every time you see him play, you can watch him become a god.
Yeah, we got to see that live.
We saw it.
All of us, the bass player as well. We all saw it.
That's cool.
And then complain about how Megadeth are the superior band to Metallica.
Yeah.
Riffs.
Yeah.
It's so true, though. I mean, like, it's.
That's a debate. That's a debate we don't need to get into.
Yeah, we can sit here for hours.
Yeah, probably.
What about you, Matt?
Yes, Matt.
Well, I mean, I have to. My favorite band for the last couple of years has been Meshuggah, so I would have to say Meshuggah.
Okay. Nice,
cool.
Because they're, I don't know, like I get that they're not everyone's cup of tea, but they're to me, as a drummer who just wants to learn all the weird things you can do with theory and weird stuff. To me, they would be I mean, I think it's my favorite band, so I'd be honored to open for them. But also, like Jack said, Death as well. So Death or Meshuggah.
Awesome. Really, really like that. Really like that. Next question. It's time to dive into your Spotify playlists. Who is an artist or band that you are listening to at the moment that you believe is underrated and deserves more attention?
I've already got this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Invocator.
Yeah, okay. Invocator and Nocturnus. Do you know either of them?
Invocator and Nocturnus. Okay.
Both of them. So one's a sweet, the first album of Invocator.
Well, I'm already following Invocator on YouTube Music, so someone's obviously mentioned them before. That's cool. I like that. Yep.
Invocator, but Nocturnus, man, it's like death metal with a synth in the right places.
Ooh, okay.
We like that.
Is that Nocturnus AD? Is that the one?
No, just Nocturnus. Nocturnus AD's they sort of reformed with different members later, but the OG, the Key and Threshold.
Yep. Sweet.
Those two, man, I can't recommend more, dude. The musicality in that is just fucked.
That's crazy. So it's a death metal band with all Space Marine shit on the fucking album covers. I'm sold. I don't even have to listen to that. I'm sold.
True, dude. Seriously,
that's cool.
Nocturnus, man. Oh, and they still play as the AD name, Nocturnus AD, around the place. So
that's great. Nice. That's really, really cool.
But seriously, one day give them a listen, man. Those albums.
I've hit follow on YouTube Music. They're on the list.
Hell yeah.
What about you, Matt? What are you recommending?
Well, I would say Tesseract. They're a band that I've been listening to for a while. They're at the peak of their career now. So to say underrated, I'd say they might be controversial, but they seem to be getting better. Although their first album is still my favorite, but.
Because oh man, I've been listening to them for a long time.
Car Bomb as well. Their drummer Elliot Hoffman, he plays live with no click. He is a master of metric modulation. He's ridiculous. I mean, all the band members are ridiculous. Vocals, guitars, bass, and everything. Amazing. But Car Bomb, they're super, super, super proggy and just ridiculous. But I love them. They're brutal. They're proggy. They're awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, some good recommendations there. Getting a little bit more introspective now. What is something that people may be surprised to learn about you?
In what way? Is it just
whatever
general?
way you want?
Yeah, whatever way you. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, to someone who's never met me, maybe man, I'm all about 90s death metal. and thrash, plus like late 80s thrash.
Look, I can look at you and immediately tell that.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah,
yes.
Is it obvious?
It's that obvious.
I mean,
Negative shirt, that denim.
it's a little obvious when you're wearing that kind of thing.
Well, look, maybe to the trained eye, you know, but like.
That's true. That's fair.
Okay, so you reckon you just kind of look more like a general rock dude, and then it's like people are surprised by how heavy your tastes go.
Okay,
I'm actually surprised. I'm actually very surprised that someone of your age still really holds on to that old school shit.
I fucking love it.
I love it. It's great.
I mean, for me at least, I mean that's the direction I went, and I still am. It's just like I feel like there was like 99, like you get all like albums and all bands up to 99, and you hit 2000 and beyond, a completely fucking different sound, even for death metal.
You know what it was though? You know what it was? Like I know that there was kind of studios were kind of moving to like digital recording earlier than that, but like budget wise, I think I think that's kind of around the end of the 90s, start of the 2000s was where there was kind of that, I guess, production mentality changed a lot in metal music, and it shifted the way a lot of stuff sounds. I agree that there's a bit of a shift in I
feel like the songwriting also changed as well with it. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's plenty of 90s music that I don't like. You know, out here, like I do, like I get into these like weird, like.
So you're not waiting for the Venga bus?
The Venga bus. No, it's like weird, like it's weird, like obscure, like Swedish or French, like even French metal bands, like 91, 92, 93. They have like one or two good albums. The rest of them, like, are not my cup of tea, to be fair. But there's one or two albums that are fucking insane. And then it just changes. Yeah. And it's like everything all over Europe, maybe a couple ones from like Florida back in the day.
Okay. I got a question for you though. This is not on the list. Are you familiar with The Crown?
Crown? That doesn't make sense to me.
The Crown? No, you're not familiar. Oh, okay. You might want to check them out. The band, yes, a band called The Crown.
The band.
Yeah.
All right, The Crown.
Yes.
All right, let me add it real quick here.
Yeah, they're one that I stumbled across them fucking yonks ago, and they're just one of those bands that like they've been doing like the thrash thing for ages, and I think they've gone through a couple of different lineups over the years. But I think primarily the guitarists have remained the same through most of it, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, they're like, but yeah, I mean, because you're talking about a lot of stuff from Europe, and I thought they might be someone that was on your radar. But there you go.
I've got them now. I've got them on. They're here.
Wicked.
See how easy that was? I didn't have to go down to a fucking CD shop and wait for a fucking try and buy an album.
I mean,
what?
It's a double-edged sword,
fucking
man.
annoying.
I'll throw my water down to way down where,
Write it down, fucking try and remember the album. Make sure you get the right one. Like it's so annoying.
It's crazy.
All right, Matt. What might people be surprised to learn about you?
All I do with my spare time is like play drums and like watch drum videos and watch things about. I'm like kind of like obsessed. So
no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's basically all, like any moment I have spare time, I want to practice a new technique or learn.
But look, that's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it, because like you're still really young. By the time if you keep doing that shit, by the time you hit your 30s, you are going to be like one of the most in-demand drummers in Adelaide.
On the market.
I'm already a prodigy. I'm telling you, he is like, I've seen all these motherfuckers live everywhere. This man, and he's the drummer for Denazen, somehow is the best drummer I've ever heard.
No, I would say I have a fucked up.
I will say it right now.
You got Trivium fans? Trivium?
I love Trivium, yeah.
Yeah, same here. Matt Heafy. You talk to Matt Heafy, you know how he became as good as what he did? His life was guitar.
Yeah.
He went home. When he got home from school, it wasn't homework, it was practice for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And he's obviously in that generation of us where, you know, we didn't have all that being able to fucking go on YouTube and shit like that. Didn't have all that stuff. It is, but in that sense, it's such a good thing now because compared to where we were when we were your age, you're the miles ahead of us just off being able to find those things to consume and watch those drummers.
You've got all the lessons in the world available to you for free, you know.
Yeah.
We have more access to just if it's lessons, if it's watching like other drummers like getting inspired. It's just the amount of access we have to like inspirational shit and like actually learning.
Yeah. It's and that's the thing because now it's not so limited to I can play like him now. It's like okay, I've learned like him. Who's the next best? And it's all about upping your game and trying to surpass. And it's such a good thing. It's a good mentality to have.
Yeah. With that in mind, it was obviously like you never want to treat it like a competition. Obviously, you never want to be like judging or like, you know, no, I'm better than them or whatever. It's always like you're just trying to compete. If you're competing with anyone, it's yourself to be better than you were the day before. And if that's your main focus, then, you know, like I said, you're going to be, you'll get to your 30s and you might have a fucked up back, but you'll be able to play your way around it. You know, like you'll be able to, your technique in this style is going to evolve, and people that, as Kyle said, like people that dedicate themselves to a craft like that, there's a lot to be had from it. And you know, if you do that well enough, you can go into things like being a studio musician as well, and that way you literally, even if your band isn't your career, music is still your career. You know, so which is a great way to go about it.
Look, man, like what we've said it here on nauseam, solid drummers that have their own gear, their own car, and that can play if they've had one or two beers or a cone or two or whatever. They're rocking horse shit.
Yeah,
they're rocking horse shit, man. We had a drummer, and this guy was a beast when he was sober. Man, we go out in my car, you know. Man, we go out, have one, and then he just fall apart. Fall apart.
He was a great drummer though. He was a great drummer.
Dougie was fucking. Dougie was good, man.
So he's all right. He's all right. He's locked in.
All right, and the last one, obviously, you know, we say it all the time on the channel. Yes, the Reverend Raph, because I am indeed an ordained minister. So with that, it is confession time. You can interpret this question however you desire.
Okay.
What is your worst music sin?
Okay, I know what mine is. Mine is absolutely like trying to maybe prove something or like be as good as possible, or like even if it's just like playing live, I'm like I have to hit all the notes perfectly. I've had a couple of gigs where we've done with Denazen. I played. I was maybe a bit too pissed, or I was sober and I was just off, and I didn't play the notes right, but I had the energy, and then I had people come up to me after the show and say that was really like amazing. And then I've had shows where I'm like in my head I'm like I played all the notes perfectly, this is great, and no one's reacted in any way. And
more beer is more good. More beer is more good.
Maybe not even more beer, just in terms.
That's all I'm saying.
In terms of putting on a show, just like learning to play the music and play to make people enjoy it, rather than be like, I have to get everything 100% perfect. Look, that's definitely my thing.
Speaking from the amount of shows I've fucking played, like the only time people know that you've made a mistake is when you make it obvious that you've made a mistake. Like if someone makes a mistake and everyone turns around like with the, you know, all the other members of the band turn around, or like the you know, you're like fucking doing it and then you're like fuck, and you're like visibly pissed with yourself from something like that. Most of the time, you're the only one that's fucking noticed, and no one else is gonna know if you don't react to it. you know, and especially the advantage that you guys have is being a bit more proggy. You know, if anyone does pick up on it, you can just be like, yeah, I was just improvising. Like,
I was
trying to give you a fresh set. I'm glad you noticed what I did for you on this fresh set.
Yeah, like I was trying to
change up my sets. I'm glad you noticed. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed that effort I did.
I genuinely, I was just modulating into 69 420 time. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed. Hits me here.
It's called the skibbity technique.
You know, who knows?
Yeah. Oh man, fucking hell.
And that's the thing. If any band really wants to be humbled, before your set starts, just go, oh, how many of you have heard of us? And then when no one probably puts their hand up, you can fucking fuck up your whole set as much as you want. No one's going to care.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right.
It's the pleasure not that.
I feel like that's in our favor right now. Right now, that is help.
The live show is about
the fun.
The live show is about the show and the fun and the vibes. It's not about precision. Yes, you want to be able to nail it. Everyone does. That's, you know, you don't want to be like off time or whatever. As long as you're tight, you can get away with a lot. And whether you've hit the wrong note or you accidentally, like, your stick's angled not quite right and you hit a rim shot when you're not intending to, or you don't get it all on the cymbal, or your hat's not closed the right way at the right moment or whatever, like, it doesn't. No one's gonna know. And if anyone's gonna be fucking giving you a hard time over that,
give them a hug because they're a fan. No, give them a hug because they're a fan.
Yeah,
give them a hug. Give them a hug because they're a fucking fan. Don't hate them.
Thank you for caring so much.
Noticing.
Exactly.
The person that gives me the hardest time.
This song, you fucked up. This song, you fucked up. This song. Thank you for noticing.
Don't worry, I tell them that anyway. I'm kidding.
No, that's what it's. Fuck you.
You're out of the band.
That's it.
Oh man! All right, and Jack.
Oh, my biggest sin. The pentatonic scale.
That's all you play in?
I'll admit it right here, man. Look, as a blues man through and through, before I started playing metal, but it's translated too much, you know, and pentatonic scale, man. I'm guilty.
If it's good enough,
that's it.
It was all.
You muted yourself.
I muted myself. Fuck. I was like, it was all Sabbath needed, so it's all I need.
That's what I thought.
That is literally his mentality.
No, let's not get into my mentality. I
love that I can tap this and mute myself, but that does get in the way sometimes. I apologize. Right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much to Matt and Jack from Denazen. We're going to have the links to all the Denazen stuff down there. We're going to have links and all to tickets and all the information for Metal to the Max Festival coming up in October. Go and check that out. It's going to be incredible. Get your tickets now before they're fucking gone, because they're moving. You get to go out there and see a ton of amazing bands. We'll interview you for the fucking channel while we're out there. You can talk about your drive and your trip out and all the amazing stuff that's fucking happened.
If we've upset you, I'll let you smack me in the face. Not hard. Don't leave a mark. Just maybe.
If I've upset you, I'll let you smack Kyle in the face. Look, thank you very much for you guys for watching. Thank you to Matt and Jack from Denazen. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to speak with us today. Thank you to my co-host Kyle. If you've had a good time with us today, consider hitting that subscribe button down there. Maybe give it a like and hit the notification bell so you can get all of our videos that are coming out. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourself, legends, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Thank you.